Hey everyone, it's been a while since I've come on here, and I just wanted to share because today's actually a really important day. I promised myself back in 1989 that I would never forget this memory and that I would always remember the date. So today in 1989, July 17th, I experienced something that I will never forget. And I just wanted to come on and share a little bit about what I wrote in my book about this memory and how when we are confronting such awful times in our lives, how we can really just sit with whatever the memories and the feelings are and really just continue to heal those younger parts of ourselves. So here it goes. One day in late July, I went for a run around the neighborhood. I was feeling self-conscious about weight gain, and I was trying to take control of my body, which felt completely out of control. For weeks, I was counting the number of days I was late for my next menstrual cycle. It had been 100 days since my last period. I remembered thinking, get it out of me as the cramping started. I was running down the sidewalk and was overtaken by intense pain. I made myself continue to run, but only made it another half a block. I collapsed on the sidewalk and just lay there thinking, someone help me. At that time, I was dissociated and confused and thinking I finally got my period. I was relieved, but I was also horrified. On some level, I knew I was having a miscarriage. About 10 minutes after I fell to the ground, I heard an ambulance siren. The first thing I thought when I realized they were coming for me was, I hope they don't call my parents. I begged the EMT workers not to tell anyone. I was 18 years old. Back then, these types of statements did not set off alarms in the healthcare profession. When I arrived at the hospital, I saw my mother coming down the hallway. Doctors told my mother that I needed to have a pregnancy test. The doctor repeatedly asked me, is there any chance you could be pregnant? I responded vehemently, I am a virgin. My mother told the doctors not to give me a pregnancy test. When the doctors took me back into the exam room, my body extricated the fetus. I felt immense pain. I focused on the blue paint on the walls, and I remember feeling like I was in a bad dream. Anything can trigger these memories, whether it is being late for my period as I enter menopause or when I was pregnant with my little man 13 years ago. It is a process to heal this part of my inner child. Once I was able to come to terms with the truth, I could begin to give my younger self-compassion and love. Instead of hating myself and my body, I have learned to love and tend to these younger parts. When I was pregnant with my little man, I went into a deep depression at the end of the first trimester. There were a lot of reminders when I noticed what I noticed when I was pregnant as a teen. I remembered the feeling of my swollen belly. I remembered watching my weight go up. When I saw the picture of the ultrasound at the end of my first trimester, I felt like I was looking at images from my past. Even today, as I write this part of my book, I am flooded with flashbacks. As these memories emerge, I am talking to my younger self and finding ways to comfort the teenage Shari Botwin who felt scared, horrified, and betrayed. Childhood abuse shapes the way we live, the way we feel about ourselves, and the way we make sense of the world we lived in growing up. The path toward healing and reclaiming our adulthoods is understanding how to heal our younger selves. In order to do that, we need to stop protecting our parents or the people that caused us harm. Instead, we need to learn how to reparent our inner child, which means making sure we feel the love and safety we lacked in childhood. We need to develop tools to better protect ourselves and understand our triggers. We need to learn how to depend on others and trust that there are people in this world that can love us in healthy ways. We need to stop feeling like we need to keep ourselves alone in order to feel safe. We need to form a tribe of supportive friends and loved ones that give us a sense of safety and community. When I sit and I read what I wrote just 2 years ago, I think about how reaching out to people today, using my voice and finding ways to honor my body is me taking control of my life as an adult and continuing to find ways to sit with really difficult feelings and continue to heal. So if you're out there and you're struggling or you're trying to figure out, how do I sit with whatever memory I just had? How do I deal with this holiday? How do I deal with the anniversary of this memory? There's no right or wrong way to do it. What works for me may not work for someone else, but that's okay. The reason I wanted to come on and speak because I really just want to encourage people to do what works for you and think about how you can take the memory and do the opposite. And while you're doing the opposite in your life today, don't forget to reach out to people and make sure that you take really, really good care of yourselves. Till next time.